anger, then I'm weak, I'm less than, I'm not a good husband, I'm not a good wife, I'm not a good partner, I'm not a good co-worker, I'm not a good team member. Wow, what a weird thing to do to ourselves. And yet I do it, you do it, whoever you are out there listening, you're doing it. And so for me, the letting go process is just that. It's allowing those things, like you said, allowing those meltdowns or those breakthroughs to happen and saying, okay, what triggered this? Right? What triggered it? Because it's never the superficial thing, right? It's never the thing that you think it is, from my experience. You know, I'll share a story with you guys that, you know, Jules and I are in the middle of a big transition, and part of that transition is, you know, we're going to no longer have a studio, a physical location. And initially, like, I was freaking out when we kind of committed, like, you know, we're seeing people in other ways. We're doing a lot more phone coaching. We're doing a lot more online coaching, going to people's houses, meeting clients and going on hikes. And so having the overhead, it just financially doesn't make sense anymore. We've kind of evolved as coaches and what we do, and we don't need a space for our but there's a part of me that started freaking out and going absolutely like panicked about it. And the world's over come January.
Yeah.
You know, like, it might as well have been like an H-bomb being dropped on Oceanside because shit's done.
Yeah.
I've ruined my entire life. Right? And then it took me 2 or 3 days. Then I finally, after having a powerful conversation with John, I realized, oh, this isn't about leaving my space. This was about, there was a 3 or 4 year period of my life where I got uprooted a lot. We moved a lot. And so 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old Billy, 13-year-old Billy is just, he's afraid. You're moving again, guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to move. No, this is comfortable. I'm happy here.
Yeah.
I don't want to make new friends. I don't want to go on this adventure. I don't want to have to redo our business plan. I don't want to. And once I was able to realize it wasn't about anything to do with my business, it had everything to do with the different part of me that just needed to express that fear, then I was able to go in there and say, hey, 12-year-old Billy, I get it, man. I get it. But I want you to know you're safe right now. And the decision that I'm making is going to benefit both of us. I'm not leaving you, buddy. I'm not abandoning you. We're actually growing right now, and I want you to be a part of this. I want you to come with me. I'm taking you with me. I'm not leaving you. You know? And just by being able to flip that switch, it is amazing how in just 3 weeks' time, 4 weeks' time, there's an excitement around the change.
Yeah.
You know, it's gone from complete panic and fear to pure excitement of endless possibilities. But it took, like you said, this little bit of a meltdown, this breakdown to turn into a breakthrough, and me to recognize, dig through the layers, kind of peel the layers back and go, oh, of course that's why you feel this way. And what a cool opportunity to parent myself and to work on healing, you know, those parts of myself.
Yeah. Face the wall.
Face the wall, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I ran face first into the wall. And when we do that, instead of suppressing it and saying like, oh, I need to toughen up and I need to be positive and I'm going to tell all the positive things, those things weren't working. You know, it wasn't working to be just simply positive and don't worry, so many good things could happen. I was even writing in my list, you know, here are all the things that could happen. You know, I did my mala beads. I did 108 positive what ifs, and it helped calm me down, honestly, but it didn't take away the underlying fear. And it was until I actually allowed that underlying fear to come all the way up, sit with it, look it face to face, and go, what's this really about?
Yeah.
Then I was able to let it go.
Yeah.
I was able to find the resolve.
Because you were able to parent that part of yourself that needs to be heard.
That's right.
Basically, that part of yourself that's crying out, that we mistake maybe for, just these negative emotions. It's really an aspect of you that's was reaching out for attention and love, and it was as simple as parenting yourself.
That's right.
Which is
And literally, I parented myself.
Yeah.
Literally, I mean, I took myself on a date. I did. I recognized like I was having a really rough day, being alone here without you. You're massaging 6 or 7, whatever you're doing, 6 or 7 hours. I recognized like I can't be alone right now. I am so sad and depressed and panicked that the longer I sit in here, even though our house is so full of comfort and love for me, I needed to get out. And I realized I needed to take 12-year-old Billy on a date. So I said, 12-year-old Billy, what do you love? I love donuts. I said, cool, I love donuts too. Let's go get you a donut, homie. Right? And we got a donut, and we got a coffee, and we did one of the favorite things we love to do. We went swimming. Right? And so literally, when you can parent yourself mentally and have those conversations, but you can also go a step further and actually parent yourself physically. Right?
Yeah.
And recognize, like, what does that part of you really need? And maybe it's just saying words back. Maybe there's words 12-year-old Billy needed to hear. But I think that those actions of, like, letting him know, like, hey, let me actually show you that you're safe. Let me actually show you that I hear you. Right? Let me go a step further than having a conversation and create this experience, again, of you knowing, like, we're together on this. I'm not abandoning you again. I'm not leaving you behind. I'm here with you, buddy.
Yeah.
Right? And went out and did 3 of my favorite things. Coffee, donut, and I got an awesome swim. And it was amazing how that flipped. And suddenly, instead of becoming 2, we became 1 again. And there was that integration that happened. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, I've got this dude, I got 12-year-old me on my side. And what a more powerful force I've become now at 38-year-old me, knowing that I've got this creative wild man in my back pocket who's ready to do some cool shit with me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's beautiful. I recently learned through Sherry Huber. She has a really good interview podcast on Sounds True. And she talks about voice recording to help you process and to help you basically talk to. Well, she uses it specifically to talk to that voice of self-hate, which we all have. Our voice of self-hate is not the same as our inner child, maybe in the specific way that you're talking about, but you can use it for anything. Let your inner child talk, or let that voice of self-hate that won't be quiet talk for a while. But how it goes is you simply record. If you're stuck in this place of experiencing negative emotion or chaotic thinking, and you're just kind of bashing your head against the wall, sit down and record all of the things that you're feeling. Give it all a voice. Say all the things that you've been trying to not think about. Be real.
Real, and be just like that
explicitly
nastiness.
real.
Yeah, explicitly.
Like, let it out. And then listen to it. So you voice record it and then listen to it. And for me, sometimes one time listening to it, I'm like, oh, okay, cool, I have a response. But other times, I have to listen to it over and over again and cry. And kind of, like, literally hear myself, the part of me that's really upset and feeling really unsafe, and just be with that part of myself and cry. And feel all of the feelings and listen to it over and over until I feel ready to have a response. And the second part of the activity is to record a response. So now you've kind of exposed that part of you. You've set it out. We're going to set you out on the table, and now I'm going to talk to you. not talk to you and like, you shouldn't be feeling this way, but access that love and compassion that is innately inside of you and tell that voice what you know it needs to hear. Even if you have to pretend that this is your really good friend who's going through a really hard time, talk to them and record a response. And it is amazing. I do this quite frequently, and it's amazing to me, the response that comes out of my mouth. Because sometimes, like the last time I did this, I listened to it over and over and over again, listened to the negativity, listened to the pain that was coming up, and then when I felt compelled to reply, I was like, well, I don't know what I'm going to say. But I can tell you, I hear you, and I understand that this is really hard for you. And I want you to know that you're safe right now. And all the feelings that you're feeling, you're safe to feel those feelings. And then getting more and deeper, and as I was talking to myself, or that part of myself, it was amazing to see what came out. And I actually had this real epiphany and moment of realization, and that enabled me to let go of all those things that were coming up. So that's another, like, a tangible way. If you've never really, like, been in the habit of talking to yourself or talking to specific parts of yourself. I think we all talk to ourselves, but talking to, like, addressing specific parts of ourselves, whether it's the voice of self-hate or if it's an aspect of our inner child. I think that's a really tangible method. And for me, it's worked wonders. I love it.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. It's powerful stuff. And so if we were to start wrapping this up here and come to some sort of conclusion, can we, in one or two sentences, say what our experience of letting go is?
Our experience of letting go is...
Or maybe there's a list of words. The first thing that comes to my mind asking you that, and then obviously there's a part of me that's like, ooh, I got the answer, I got the answer, right?
So go.
And I don't know that I've got the answer. There's that part of me that wants to know everything, right?
Yeah.
Is letting go is an ongoing process.
Absolutely.
Going back to the idea or the point that you were making about wanting there to be an end point, letting go is an ongoing process. I find myself letting go all day long. Mm-hmm. All day long. In various, driving in my car, getting angry at someone, being able to, like, recognize the anger, giving myself the voice, hey, that person put me in, like, harm's way. I have a right to be angry. And then letting it go, right? All day long I'm acknowledging and letting go, acknowledging and letting go, acknowledging, right?
And I think that's a huge key in letting go, is the acknowledgement of the pain or the frustration or whatever it is. But the genuine acknowledgement of it.
Right.
The genuine acknowledgement of it. Because otherwise you're just getting over it, or you're putting a mask on it with positive thinking and affirmations.
Yeah, or you're stuffing it down,
yeah,
like a jack in the box.
Yeah.
But just like a jack in the box, that thing is ticking. And that box, that jack, is going to pop sometime. Mm-hmm. And so, stop pushing that box down and become more aware of what you're feeling and present with when something comes up. There's a reason it's coming up. Acknowledge it. Doesn't make you bad. It doesn't make you wrong. It doesn't make you less than. It doesn't make you sinful or incorrect or anything.